Thank you, everybody, for being here today, participating in this wonderful workshop that our partners of Vertical 6 help us put together. I want to give a big shout out to Jana for working with us and helping us understand the value of thinking outside the box when these difficult times are happening, how we can lean in with each other. So I really appreciate that. I also want to give a big shout out to Paula and Kelly, who are giving us their time, to giving us tools to help us learn and help leaning on each other. And you would have an amazing experience learning from them. I had the privilege to play a little bit with this tool with them yesterday, and I'm really looking forward to how they're gonna walk us through this and take a time for us to get the tools that we need so that we can keep navigating this new normal. If you have any questions about technology or anything new that you would like to learn, please contact Jana. But if you have any particular questions about this, please contact directly Kelly and Paula. Their emails will be in the slides that they're going to put together. With that, I'll pass it to Paula. Thank you, Paula and Kelly, for your time.
Good morning. Thanks for having us join you today. My name is Paula Hamilton, and I am the Manager of Account Services at Coastline Employee Assistance Program. Coastline Employee Assistance Program is a 35-year-old, actually, I think we're about 37 years old. We're a private nonprofit EAP. Our headquarters is in Warwick, Rhode Island. That's where Kelly and I sit. And we serve about 235 companies, most in the New England area, many in Rhode Island where we are, but also we have a national presence as well. And we cover about 100,000 lives, 100,000 employees and their family members, because we are an employee assistance program that covers family members as well. And are we going to put the slides up, Kelly?
Yeah, let me see what I can do there.
We're just going to get our little presentation up so I can get to my slide.
There we go. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay,
so
great.
If we can go on to the Coastline different slide.
Yep.
That's the one. So I'm not going to take up too much of your time. I really want Kelly to get to the meat of this presentation, which is about my. I'm just going to tell you a little bit about who we are and why we're doing this. One of the things that makes this different, if you're familiar with Employee Assistance Program, it's a benefit that companies provide for their employees to help address personal issues that may or may not be affecting work. For many of you folks, we may be our Employee Assistance Program. I looked at the membership for Tech Collective, and it looks like we do have a lot of you as client companies. So we may be your EAP. And if so, we're available on an unlimited basis. There's no cost to you or your family members. It's a completely employer paid for benefit. And we're available for crisis consultation, clinical assessments, and we do a lot of case management support, following folks right through problem resolution. So folks call, they speak with a master's level consultant. If they're local and there's no pandemic, they can come into one of our offices. Right now, it's strictly telephonic and video conferencing assessments and referral. And we help with psychological concerns. We help with childcare issues, elder care, financial, legal issues. We provide a lot of support and consultation to the company as well. Right now, we've been running a lot of human resources support Zoom sessions across companies so that HR folks from different companies and different work cultures can come together and strategize and talk about how to help their employees during this very challenging time. So that's something we've been doing during this crisis that we normally wouldn't do. We've had to think outside the box quite a bit to see what would be of assistance to our employer groups. It's amazing that during a trauma, sometimes the call volume goes down initially. So while we were quieter, which we knew would pick up, we started working with our companies versus their employees. We are getting a lot more employee calls now, but in the beginning, in the first few weeks of the lockdown, it was quiet, which was kind of eerie, but it makes sense. Folks are really struggling with basic needs and how to survive, and they're not really thinking about their mental health needs per se, although they may be in the middle of a lot of reactivity. They're not able to go ahead and take those next steps to address those things. We have extensive knowledge. Because we have 35 years of experience, we match people very carefully in the community with providers. We, follow up with providers and make sure that folks are really matched carefully. And we are also available to companies for unlimited on-site grief and trauma response. And since the pandemic, we've also had to be creative with that. So we've been doing a lot of Zoom meetings for employees who are affected by the COVID crisis, particularly in healthcare. We do cover a lot of healthcare and human service agencies. And so we're really working, hand in hand with some of the first responders and the folks on the front lines in healthcare to help them debrief after particularly upsetting losses. And then, of course, work groups that lose folks are struggling with loved ones who've, succumbed to COVID or have COVID. So that's one of the things we've been doing. And then another thing we decided to do, thinking outside the box, is that, we have Kelly, and she is a mindfulness meditation practitioner. She's a yoga practitioner. She's very skilled. And she does run our webinars for our companies for mindfulness. But we decided to offer those on an ongoing basis, weekly, so that folks could partake across companies, come together and be able to relax. Because one of the things folks really need to do is stay in the moment, not get too far ahead of themselves during a crisis like this, and stay in relaxed bodies. The only way you can be productive is in a relaxed body. And there are ways to get yourself into a relaxed body. And mindfulness meditation practice, it is one such way to do so, to do that. So we started having her do that, and we've had fantastic response. I mean, Kelly, I think, saw how many people the first week, Kelly?
I think we had like 100, like through all the sessions, probably like 100, a little over 100 maybe.
Yeah, it's been a fantastic response. People do want to learn how to do this, and I think they're finding it helpful. So I will let Kelly take it away. She's going to basically explain to you what mindfulness and meditation is and what it isn't, and then she's going to do a really nice breathing exercise with us to get us all into a relaxed body so we can face the rest of today. And thank you very much for your time. My information is at the end of this slide presentation, but you can also reach me through the phone numbers that are on your screen.
All right, so thank you, everybody. As Paula said, my name is Kelly Ravenscroft, and I'm one of the consultants with Coastline EAP. I'm a social worker, a yoga teacher, and I also teach meditation, and I have a daily meditation practice. So let's talk a little bit about what mindfulness is. So up here I have a definition by Jon Kabat-Zinn. And so Jon Kabat-Zinn is the founder of mindfulness-based stress reduction. He founded it back in the late 70s with UMass Hospital. And it is because of him that we are talking about mindfulness, that mindfulness has sort of made it into our society, our culture. Our pop culture now know what mindfulness is, but here's a definition that he uses. So the definition of mindfulness is pretty simple. It is paying attention in a particular way, on purpose, in the present moment, to what is actually happening without judgment. So non-judgmental, compassionate awareness is what he defines mindfulness as. And I would say that one of the things that's really helpful about mindfulness is that mindfulness basically takes us from a state of doing, which is what we're running about, we're doing. And mindfulness shifts us from a state of doing to a state of being in our bodies. What is it actually like to be present in this moment that we're having right now, whether we like this moment or whether we don't like this moment, just being present, aware, and accepting. So that is kind of a definition about what mindfulness is. But I want to talk to you a little bit about what mindfulness is not. So mindfulness is not getting rid of thoughts. And I just want to spend a little time on this because what I hear from family, I hear this from friends, I hear this from people that I know that they say, I can't meditate, or I tried mindfulness and, I can't get rid of my thoughts. My mind's just going a million miles a minute. And so one of the things that I just want to clear up, mindfulness and meditation does not get rid of your thoughts. We have anywhere between 60,000 and 80,000 thoughts per day. And by meditating, we don't reduce the amount of thoughts that we have. We have the same amount of thoughts. But what mindfulness and meditation does is it changes our relationship to our thoughts through becoming aware of our thoughts, becoming aware of our sensations that we're having in our body. And what will typically happen when you practice, when you do a formal sitting practice, is you'll kind of come in and you'll have your day with you, and it can take a couple of minutes to settle into the meditation. But as you get into the meditation, typically what happens is things start to slow down. Not always, but it can start to slow down. And then by the end of the meditation, if you check in with yourself, you might notice a slight shift by just being still and focusing your attention on one particular object. So mindfulness meditation, if you can't stop thinking, that's fine. You're not doing it wrong. So I just want to make that point. The other thing that mindfulness is it's not necessarily about quieting the mind or the emotions or the sensations, although that can happen more times than not. But what it really is about accepting. So if I am doing a meditation and I notice that I'm having a pleasant emotion, I would be aware of that. I might notice where I'm feeling that in my body. But then what you start to notice when you're practicing mindfulness is that sensations rise and fall, thoughts come and go, emotions come and go. And so that's one of the observations that you have with mindfulness, is that it's always in this state. So it's not about changing things. So if I come into meditation and I'm having a bad day and I feel sort of like anxious and irritated, it's really about accepting that and knowing that getting curious about that and knowing that it eventually will subside. So that's another thing to know about mindfulness. And then another thing is it's not a cure-all. So I know a lot of people come to mindfulness because there's a lot of research out there that says, it's going to help your stress levels, it's going to increase your sense of well-being, it can help with chronic medical conditions. And so there's a lot of hope there, but it's not a cure. What it can do is it can help you to lower your stress and increase your sense of well-being, but it's not going to cure your diabetes, or it's not going to cure your chronic pain. It will help you to change your relationship to it. But mindfulness is about awareness, especially in the beginning. We spend so much time in our heads worrying about the future or dwelling on the past that we're very rarely in the present moment. And when we're not in the present moment, we miss a lot of our lives. We miss being with our family because we're too busy thinking about things. So mindfulness is about awareness, and it's also about accepting what is happening. So now I put up here types of mindfulness, because sometimes when you look up mindfulness, you'll see things like mindfulness is not meditation, and that can be very confusing. I know I was confused by that when people would say that it's not meditation. And what it really is there's two types of mindfulness. There's a formal practice, which is sitting, standing, lying down, walking, or doing mindful movements. That's a formal practice where you set time in your day aside to practice, and that is meditation. But then mindfulness also encourages informal practice. So being mindful when you're washing the dishes, or being mindful when you're brushing your teeth, or driving, or eating, or gardening, or doing art. So they do recommend that when you start with mindfulness, you start with the formal practice so you can increase your focus and your attention. That way, when you do informal practices like brushing your teeth, you're actually know how to stay in your body and stay in the moment. So they work in tandem, they work together. And in terms of benefits of mindfulness, there's so many benefits of mindfulness. Up here I have a list. The American Psychological Association put together a list. They went through a bunch of different research studies, and these are what the research studies are showing. And when I say research, the American Psychological Association was looking for high quality mindfulness studies. So there might be other studies out there that are saying that it can do other things, but these are highly controlled studies in terms of what they can do. And when I say highly controlled, typically that means the mindfulness-based stress reduction program, which is an 8-week program where you attend class 2.5 hours a week, and then you agree to practice meditation 40 minutes a day. So that's this. However, I don't want to discourage anybody. There is also a researcher out of University of Miami that found that if you practice 6 minutes of mindfulness a day, that you will get some of these benefits. Not all of these benefits, but some of the benefits. And I find that most people come to mindfulness because they want to reduce depression, they want to reduce anxiety, they want to reduce stress. A lot of other people refer to it for helping reducing symptoms of migraines, irritable bowel, fibromyalgia. It can help with ruminating thoughts. It can boost your memory. It can help definitely focus and attention. That is one thing that mindfulness is all about, how to be present in this moment. It can help with not being so emotionally reactive, so less snappy, less likely to kind of snap and lash out at people. If you're having a bad day, it can increase your emotional intelligence. Because all these other things are happening, they find that it helps improve relationships and how you get along with other people. It can help with your immune system, well-being, and even how quickly you can process information. So lots and lots of benefits of mindfulness out there. But one of the things that I find when it comes to mindfulness is we can talk about mindfulness all day, and believe me, I can, but I won't do that to you. But I think to really understand what mindfulness is, it can be helpful to experience mindfulness. So what I'm going to ask everybody to do now is to uncross your arms, uncross your legs, and sit in your chair with your back nice and tall, and your feet planted on the floor. If they don't reach, that's okay, but it's really helpful to have your feet grounded when you're meditating. And as you take your next breath in, feel your spine grow nice and tall, and as you exhale, relax your shoulders. Allow your shoulders to relax. And then on your next inhale, allowing your spine to grow nice and tall. And as you exhale, adjusting your head so that your ears are over your shoulders and your chin is slightly tucked. And as you take your next inhale, just feeling your whole body expand. And as you exhale, feel your whole body soften, your face, your eyes, relax your jaw, shoulders, your arms, your hands, your legs and your feet. And then the next thing that I'm going to ask you to do is check in with your body. And one thing that's really important when you're meditating is that you are comfortable, that you are in a comfortable position. So make any final micro adjustments that you need to do so that you can sit in this position without moving around too much or fidgeting. You want to be able to be comfortable enough where you can stay still. And now what we're going to do today is a mindful body scan. The mindful body scan is really a great way to learn how to get out of your head, get out of your thinking, get out of that doing mode, and just learning how to be with your entire body. So shifting your attention now to both of your feet on the floor. And you might have a sock or a shoe on right now, so noticing the fabric or the material on your feet. Observing the bottom of your foot as it touches into the floor. Observing the top of your foot, including your toes, your ankle. Noticing any sensations that you're having, pleasant sensations, unpleasant sensations, neutral sensations. Doing that without any judgment. Notice if your feet are warm or cool or neutral in temperature. On an exhale, shifting your attention away from your feet and moving them up to your ankles. So noticing the sides of your ankles. Notice if there's any fabric touching them, a sock or possibly a pant leg. Maybe getting curious, how do you know? How do you know you're sensing in if there is any fabric there or not there? On an exhale, shifting your attention now to your lower legs. The front of your legs, the shins, the back of your legs, the calf, and the sides of your legs. Staying here. Noticing any sensations or lack of sensations. Notice any of those sensations are pleasant or unpleasant or neutral. And then on an exhale, letting go of your lower legs and moving them now to your knees. So there's the front of your knees, and the sides of your knees, and the back of your knees. And on an exhale, letting go and shifting your attention now to your upper legs. And the top of your legs, bottoms of your legs, and the sides. Notice where your legs are making contact with the surface beneath you. Notice if you can feel your hands, if your hands are in your lap. Notice if you can feel your hands. Noticing sensations or lack of sensations, pleasant or unpleasant or neutral. And on an exhale, letting go of tension here. And I just want to mention that you may have noticed some thoughts coming up, and that's completely normal for that to happen. Thoughts might be as simple as, am I doing this right? And that's a thought that comes up, or a thought that oh, this is a little boring. Just whatever thoughts are there, just let them be there. They're just thoughts. They want attention. So when you notice that you're thinking, catch yourself thinking and drifting away, that is a moment of mindfulness. So at that point, you become aware, and then you shift your attention back to where we are in this present moment. So on an exhale, shifting your attention now to your lower back. Just being curious. Any sensations you have here in your lower back. In the middle of your back. And then and your upper back. And you might notice that as you breathe, you might even feel some slight sensations of your back expanding when you're breathing. You might not, that's okay. And then letting go of sensations on your back and focusing now on your torso. So notice here in your abdomen, any sensations you have here, digestion going on, breathing happening. And then moving up to your upper chest where your heart and your lungs are being protected by your rib cage. Observing any sensations you have here. Any breathing that you're feeling in your torso. And then on an exhale, letting go and shifting your attention now to your shoulders. So shoulders are an area where many of us carry tension. So taking a deep breath in and directing your breath to your shoulder area. And exhale, releasing, allowing your shoulders to relax a little bit more here. Let's try that again. Inhale, breathing in deeply into your shoulders, feeling maybe they rise a little bit. And exhale, releasing and letting go of tension. And on an exhale, letting go of your attention on your shoulders and moving it to your hands. So feeling your hands and your fingers. Noticing the back of your hands, palms of your hand. There might be air in the room that you can feel. So noticing that if you can feel the air in your hands. Noticing if your hands are warm or cool or neutral in temperature. Any other qualities that you can notice about your hands right now. Any sensations that are pleasant or unpleasant or even neutral. And then on an exhale, letting go and shifting your attention now to your lower arms, your elbows, your upper arms, back to your shoulders. And then moving your attention up to your neck and your throat. So this is the area that connects the head to the rest of the body. This is the area where oxygen passes through, going in and in out. This is the area that allows us, our vocal cords, to talk. So there's a lot happening, holds the head up. So many things happening here. So taking a moment, being curious about what you notice here. Can you feel oxygen as you breathe in and breathe out, passing through? Can you feel the weight of your head that it's holding up? And it's okay if you can, and it's okay if you can't. Just being curious, that's all. And then letting go of your attention here and shifting to your face. And let's start with the jaw. So take a moment here and relax your jaw. The jaw is an area that carries a lot of tension. Relaxing here, and if it feels right for you, allow a slight smile, like a Mona Lisa smile to happen here on your lips, and Notice what you feel when you do that. So the jaw and the facial muscles here control a lot that has to do with our emotions. So when we clench our jaw, we're sending signals that we are angry or stressed or tensed. And when we relax our jaw, we send signals that we are relaxed. And when we smile, we send signals that we're relaxed enough to be happy. So that's something that you can bring into your practice if that feels right for you. And if it doesn't, you don't ever have to try that again. And then shifting your attention now to your cheeks, your nose. And here you might notice that as you breathe in through your nostrils, you feel the air coming in. And as you exhale, you feel the air going out. You might even notice that the air is a little bit cooler when you breathe in than when you breathe out because it's been warmed by your lungs. And then letting go and shifting your attention now to your eyes, your eyebrows, your forehead, your temples, on the top of the head, back of the head, sides of the head, and your ears. So take a moment here, feeling your ears, and noticing that your ears allow you to hear things. So take a moment and notice any sounds that you can hear in the room. So it could be simple as a clock ticking, the hum of your computer, voices in the background, traffic in the background, birds. Take a moment and really listen to the sounds surrounding you. Sounds are a great way of being present in the moment because you can't hear sounds in the future and you can't hear sounds in the past. You can only hear sounds that are happening in this moment, this second, right now. So it's a wonderful way to be present, to practice being present and aware. And so letting go of sound and bringing your attention now to your entire body, starting with your toes and your feet, legs, your sit bones, torso, your back, your arms, your hands, your shoulders, your neck, and your face. And as best you can, hold in awareness your entire body. Noticing any sensations or your lack of sensations. Noticing any urges to itch. So people wonder how to manage itches when they're doing meditation. And so the thing for that is to notice it. And if you need to scratch, you do it mindfully, not reactively, not automatically, being completely aware in the moment. Same thing goes if you need to shift because you're in an uncomfortable position. You don't do it automatically or reactively. You do it with full presence, full awareness. So getting ready to come back to the present moment. So let's take 3 deep breaths in and out. And then you can begin to wiggle your fingers and toes, and maybe you might feel the need to stretch in some way. So listening to your body and stretching. And then you may open your eyes and take a moment here, pausing, and notice how you feel. So with mindfulness, you may feel relaxed, but if you don't feel relaxed, that's okay. Mindfulness is about being aware and accepting how you're feeling in this moment. So don't worry, you didn't fail as long as you're aware. And doing that, of course, without judgment, which is very difficult to do. So thank you all for joining me today and practicing mindfulness. I hope you have a better understanding of what it is through this practice and through the information that we provided. I have some resources that are here, and I believe they're going to be sent to you as well. So if you are interested in mindfulness-based stress reduction, great news. We have the ability to do that through Lifespan or through the Center of Mindfulness. There's even a free mindfulness-based stress reduction online that you can do. And if you do have any questions at all, feel free to reach out to Paula Hamilton. She can answer any questions that you have about the EAP and our services. And if you have any questions about mindfulness, I'll be here in case you do have any questions for me.
I put Kelly's email in the chat.
And I'm gonna stop sharing my screen here. Let's see. There it is. Stop sharing.
Does anybody have any questions right now that they can think of?
I just wanted to say this was so helpful in so many ways. I really appreciate acknowledging that all of the thoughts that we have, because we often think, oh, am I the only one who's running 1,000,000 miles an hour and is not able to, I can't meditate, or I don't know what that is because I don't have that ability. And then you just reminding us that that is okay. That's part of acknowledging. That was really nice, Kelly. Thank you for that.
Oh, of course, yeah. I know usually after this, everybody's kind of just like, oh, I feel so relaxed. Don't make me think. I don't want to think or ask questions. So
Yes, definitely. And the little tools, right, that you, when you mentioned about listening, just it is those little things that we don't pay attention. Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely.
Destiny said, I enjoyed your comment on the fact that sounds are one thing that is in the moment.
Yeah, that was a big epiphany for me as well. So I love sharing that little tip. That whole thing going on in nature, listening to sounds of nature and just being there with your senses is amazing. So it might not necessarily be a formal practice, but that's one of those informal practices. I go outside and I'm just going to use my ability to hear and see and smell and even feel the wind or the sun. And those are little moments that you can take for yourself and be present.
That helps a visual person like me. I'm a very visual person. So to stop looking and you start using some of my other senses is it's an important reminder, I think.
Yeah. And the other thing that I want to say too is that there's so many different types of meditation that are out there, and meditation does help with relaxation. So if this didn't feel like a good fit for you, that's okay. I've talked with a lot of people. I've heard a lot of people say that they came to mindfulness and it didn't work for them, but you know what does work? Yoga works for them, or transcendental meditation works for them, or guided imagery works for them, or mantra meditation works for them, or so there's so many different types of meditation. If the mindfulness didn't really click with you, that is fine. There are so many different things out there. So I want to encourage you all to explore those, especially right now where things, we just need all the tools we can get to cope.
Yeah.
Yes. Thank you everyone who came. I'm happy that you all enjoyed and learned with Kelly and Paula. Again, thank you to our partners at Vertical 6 and Paula and Kelly for giving us the tools. Hopefully we'll be seeing more of you as we continue to learn this new normal. I really appreciate everyone for attending. And if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to reach out to them. I think we've seen a little bit of what they are capable of supporting us with. So imagine if you can dive in deep with where they can offer it. So thank you, everybody. And I'll see you in the next one.
All right. Bye, guys.
Thank
Thank
you.
you so much.
Thank you,
Thanks for
everyone.
having us. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.